I am Salem. I was once a priest of Vulture. I do not yet fully understand you, but for now, I will join you. I do not have much choice, do I?
Grand Hero Battles and Red Mages are, specifically Red Dark Mages, are two phrases that I would rather keep apart at this point. Salem will be our next victim, next Red Infantry Mage during the Grand Hero Battle lineup. He does bring some interesting perks, but ultimately he's going to be our third Gen 6 Heroic Hero option in this class type. For stats, Salem has 41 HP, 38 attack, 36 speed, 18 defense, and 38 resistance. To absolutely no surprise, he has pretty decent base attack and high base res. Salem has pretty bad defense, but he does have some speed to work with, and that's a very notable trait. Unfortunately, no super boons. Salem will be another Red Mage without a unique weapon. However, this time we have a pretty interesting inheritable to talk about. Similar to Nime, Salem introduces the Red Vulture Tome Plus. They have 12 might, and if unit is not adjacent to an ally, inflict penalty on foes attack and res during combat equal to 5 plus any current penalty on each of those stats. Calculates each stat independently. The Vulture Tomes are essentially Pledgian weapons with the Pledgian Torch Plus, basically being the green variant. Pledgian weapons can be quite powerful by doubling down on debuffs already on the target. However, you need those attack and res debuffs in the first place. For example, if you can inflict -6 attack and res on the foe, the Vulture Tome is going to inflict another -5 plus -6 attack and res for a total of -11 in combat debuffs. This then stacks with the -6 already on the field debuff. That's potentially -17 attack and res in ideal situations, which is pretty nuts. For a low defense mage like Salem, -17 attack debuffs can definitely matter in physical matchups, and against mages he's going to be nigh unkillable. These weapons are extremely potent, but you need attack and res debuffs and you need to be solo. That's a very important distinction to remember. I would definitely rate the Red Vulture Tome up there with the Unity Blooms as a top tier inheritable red tome. However, it will take some work to make the most of it. For his base kit, Salem has Glaciers as a special, no surprises there, with 38 base res. He has attack and res push 3 for +5 attack and res for pretty much one fight. He then has Sabotage Attack 3 to inflict -7 attack on foes adjacent to each other if they have less res than Salem. 38 base res is a pretty good starting point to proc Sabotage on most units, and Sabotage Attack is great since that's going to help with part of the Vulture Tome. Overall, very basic base kit focused on attack and res. If Salem can get Sabotage Attack on his enemy, then the Vulture Tome is going to boost his survivability by a ton. In terms of merging for the neutral nature, Salem's going to get +1 HP, attack, and speed. Not bad if you don't want to spend trade fruits. Unfortunately, no super boons and 171 BST. Salem's not going to be able to hit the next BST bin if you care about arena scoring. Now, let's talk about some comparisons because this man is already our third Gen 6 Red Hero Grail Infantry Mage. To put things simply, Salem takes the speed of Peleus and combines it with the high res of Elfric. He won't be the most offensive pick since Peleus has 40 base attack, but Salem is right there and he's going to come with a lot more res. This is a plus if you want to run Sabotage or Ploy debuffs while still having the option to be a decent offensive threat. Salem's going to have the lowest physical bulk, but ultimately most Red Mages sack defense anyway. I don't know if Garneth could get an offensive refine, but maybe he's someone to watch out for in the future. If you're looking for a fun tanky Red Mage, Julia's got a one heck of a refine for Loptis, including Dragon Wall damage reduction. Arvis has some pretty easy debuff application with the Blizzard attack boost. There's also Canis, who got a pretty fun special charging mechanic. There is no shortage of Grail Red Mages. In terms of summonable options, Mel Morgan is going to be a big standout because of his weapon. I'll elaborate more on that in a bit. If you just want speed, then Urk is the clear winner here. His attack does take a hit, although his HP is quite high. Miranda and Noel are kind of similar to Salem with some speed to work with, and then they focus on attack and res. You then have good old Darja and her Blade Tome. Mel Morgan is a pretty fun red mage and is very relevant to the discussion if you're thinking of trying out the Vulture Tome. Grima's Truth basically has attack speed and res menace, and then the full Pledgian effect for all 4 stats. Morgan doesn't also need to be alone. The Vulture Tomes and Pledgian weapons are great, but they don't cover all 4 stats like Grima's Truth, and again, Morgan already comes with a menace type debuff which perfectly synergizes with the Pledgian effect. He also doesn't need to be solo, which makes things a bit easier to manage. If you're thinking of building a Red Infantry Mage with the Vulture Tome, then do check out Mel Morgan first. If you want to use Salem because you like him, then let's talk builds. For budget options, you can indeed keep Salem's base kit. Maybe swap out attack and res push if you want him to fight more than once. Ideally, Sabotage Attack applies attack debuffs, but we still need res debuffs to fully take advantage of the Vulture Tome. You can run res ploy or borrow sabotage res from Salem if you prefer the extra damage over extra survivability. You can run double ploys or maybe attack or res smoke for the enemy phase. Even chill attack or chill res are options. If you do want to run sabotage or ploy skills, you may want to boost Salem's flat res by a bit. Fury 3 can help, and you can double stack it if you want. The res refine on the Vulture Tome would give +3 res as well. While winning the res check is important, Salem could also try to boost his speed. Since the Vulture Tome requires the user to be solo, you can run solo skills. Urk has speed and res solo if you want to experiment with that, but attack and speed solo or attack and res solo are fine as well. If you go with solo skills, Rouse attack and res would be a nice complement from Spring Soleil. For the most part, if you're on a budget, you need to figure out how Salem is going to keep consistent attack and res debuffs on the enemy. You can always bring a debuffing ally, but there is one skill a lot of people will prefer instead. We discussed it a bit when focusing on Morgan, but the Vulture/Pelagian weapons absolutely love Menace C skills. Specifically, you want attack and res Menace. The force-based range is the attack range of Salem, and if it lands, you apply -6 attack and res on the foe. Salem gets +6 attack and res field boss, and then Vulture Tome is just going to double down on the debuffs. This is a very self-sufficient setup, assuming you can get in range, and like Nime's base kit, it's pretty fit for double solo skills. You can stack attack and res solo, or try to get some speed in since Salem can be a decent offensive threat. With the Menace build, it is player phase focus, and you don't need extra flat res for sabotage or ploys. This means you can take a plus speed refine on the Vulture Tome, and you can run B skills like low speed and res or no follow. Heavy Blade isn't bad with Menace skills since they create a big attack gap. Now if you don't run attack and res Menace, or you can't, but you can supplement debuffs from elsewhere, then Panic Smoke could be another fun C skill. Panic debuffs are going to count as debuffs, which just means even more stacking from the Vulture Tome. If you're looking for a debuffing ally, then Gunthra is a really strong pick for any Vulture Tome user. Her Beast Gunflex -7 attack and res in an AoE, and then that just means more targets for the Vulture Tome compared to her probably a single debuffed enemy via attack and res Menace. Coincidentally, Gunthra is back right now on the Legendary Remix banner. Last, I just want to highlight some other weapons for Salem. If you do not want to mess with debuffs, or you're just scared that the enemy can neutralize them, then you could just go with the basic Fox Tome player phase setup. Pure initiation focus, you want to focus on speed with B skills like Desperation, Lulls, or No Follow-Up. If you'd rather go for a res boost, the Rabbit Tome works once per phase. Simple +5 attack and res with some after combat healing. If you want special cooldown, Salem can try out Special Spiral or Times Pulse, maybe flashing a Heavy Blade, and you can maybe get some nice Iceberg procs going. Now, if you want some attack debuffs, then the Unity Blooms from Valentine's Henriette is the other defensive red tome. It's a great weapon that doesn't need debuffs, and you still inflict attack and res in combat penalties with some healing every hit. This can be another weapon for a defense stacking build, maybe paired with things like Dual Stances, Nelsi Disrupt, Bonds, Unity, or Forms. So, should you promote Salem to 5 stars? Well, basically, he really takes the speed of Peleus and the res of Ulfric and provides a middle ground option. 38 attack is fine, and red mages are not fast in general, so 36 base speed is actually pretty good. 38 base res is solid for debuffing skills, and in general, Salem could be your choice for a magic damage tank with some speed. In regards to his base kit, Salem does have good skills. The Red Vulture Tome is a very nice addition to the kind of weak Red Tome inheritable selection. It's a solo weapon that requires attack and res debuffs, so you need setup, but when it works, it's extremely strong. As for Sabotage Attack, it's a great support option to have on a heroic row unit. Someone like August would love that B skill. Overall, without a unique tome, Salem will just sort of blend into that ever-growing Red Infantry Mage group. He does fill a niche with high res and some speed, so he is different from Peleus or Ulfric. Maybe he's got what you're looking for. In general, for pretty much any Red Vulture Tome user, again, I suggest checking out Mel Morgan first. Especially if you're going for a merge project. He basically has the Pelagian plus Menace combo, so Morgan doesn't have to worry about running those skills, and he's gonna double the debuffs of all 4 stats, including speed. Back to Salem, he's certainly not bad, but like Gonzalez, he's definitely not groundbreaking or anything. He has certain stat niches with some good skills, but we just have so many other options. That'll be it for this video, and I guess we're back to our regularly scheduled Red Mage Grand Hero Battle reward units. Hopefully we can avoid spamming them like last year, and the streak continues where if you're not a creepy old bad guy, then you just do not get a unique tome. I still cannot believe Reeve of all people got one, but I guess that's because he avoided that red mage group. Let me know your thoughts on Salem and go beat his Grand Hero Battle maps. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.